Introducing your hosts, Sam Godsey and Tanner Dislin. Welcome to Crunch Time with the N326 Duo.
What's up, everybody? It is Crunch Time special episode 220. I'm your host, Sam Godsey, and with me today, as always, is Tanner Dislin. Y'all know we had to do it. After last night's game, we had to do an emergency pod. The Knicks pull off one of the greatest comebacks in NBA history, maybe even sports history. They win 107-106. Take a 3-1 lead. Tanner, we all saw the video we put out on social last night, but now you've had about 24 hours to collect your thoughts. Just give me the rundown, man.
I'm still kind of speechless. I mean, I don't think comebacks happen all the time, especially in this series, right? It feels like not feels like, it's a known fact. Every first quarter, the Spurs have had a double-digit lead, and the Knicks have fought back. This one just felt different. The Spurs were shooting an unbelievable percentage the entire first half, and you just felt the Knicks were getting frustrated with referees, which we've obviously talked about in the past, getting frustrated with first shot making, getting frustrated with, frankly, not performing at home, having two chances to take a real grip on the series at home and not doing it. Foul trouble, all of the above resulted in a really frustrated Knicks team. And I cannot believe that it happened. Truly at a loss for words. As it stands right now, obviously 3-1, there's only one team to do it. And the Spurs obviously could enter NBA history being the second. But if this series goes the way people expect, the books expect, all of that, the NBA 2026 NBA Finals Game 4, I think, will be a tick behind the Minneapolis Miracle for personal sports moment.
Yeah.
Because it was that special.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, we watch it. I'm regretting not doing a live stream for this game, because that would have been absolutely electric for the last quarter, because let's be honest, we weren't. I know I wasn't. I don't know about you, but I was not locked in too much.
No, I missed
82-0, and
I missed Wemby's flagrant.
Yeah,
turn around. I was like, oh, he's got a flagrant. So that's how locked in I was in the beginning of the second half. Obviously, things turned around. Yes, we played some 82-0. Funny story. We were playing, and the Knicks just kept chipping away. They got it. From 29. They got it to 22, and they got it to 18, and they got it to 15. And I think they may have cut it to like 12. And you had said something like, "Yo, we should lock in on this game." And I was like, Sam, pick up that goddamn phone, and we're playing 82-0, because we're not changing a thing about what we're doing right now. And obviously, it ended up working out, so it was pretty special.
Yeah, it was an unreal game. Obviously, there's a lot of talk about the final 20 seconds. Okay, De'Aaron Fox steal the ball. I can't remember who was dribbling at the time. He, instead of just dribbling out the clock, he goes up. OG Anunoby sends it against the backboard, and we all know how the game ends. We'll talk about that here in a few, but I kind of want to get your thoughts. I don't know if you've seen his post-game comments. Basically, he wanted to go up 3, make them shoot a 3 at the buzzer. Kind of give me your thoughts on that, in that situation specifically.
Yeah, they were up 1. I think the play was the Knicks had the ball down 1. Brunson tried to shoot it over Wemby, long rebound. I think Steph Castle smartly, when it was kind of a scramble for the ball, just like tipped it down the court. Fox went and got it. I mean, yes, you obviously want to go up 3. You could go up 3 at the foul line.
Yeah.
I mean, that's It's an inexcusable mental lapse. I get you just like I don't know what the right word, like just there's a ball in the back court. You go and get it, and you go up for the layup. That's how basketball works, right? You have a potential fast break. You have to have the wherewithal to be like, hey, there's 15 seconds left in this basketball game. I need to dribble this out, right? It happens all the time. Like it happens all the time. You just need to, and especially if you are the veteran leadership. I know De'Aaron Fox is only 26 years old, which is crazy. But if you are the air quotes veteran leadership on a very young basketball team, you just need to make those winning plays if you're going to win an NBA championship. And obviously he didn't. He did not have his best. He did not have his best couple minutes there at the end of the game.
Yeah, 100%. Honestly, he's had a rough series kind of throughout, honestly. Obviously, hit that big shot late in game 3, but for the most part, he has been one of the guys I thought was going to be a huge key factor. And I think he has played that key factor because he hasn't been playing well. But I think one of the most crazy things about this game was when Cat picked up his second early.
Yes.
Obviously, some allegations were thrown out about how the NBA has their hands all over this one. I know you were very upset, frankly, as a bystander with not a dog in the fight. I completely agreed. I thought it was crazy. That's with Cat being in foul trouble and how important he has been to this series. Him picking up that second foul and then the Spurs go on a run. I was starting to close the curtains there. I don't know about you, but that is where the game switched. So obviously that happens. The Spurs take over the game. There's no denying that. What was a switch that led to this insane comeback? Because I can't point to one moment. It was just kind of that chipping away. It's like that meme of the guy, there's two guys in the tunnel and there's the diamonds at the end of it. That's literally how it felt like. It was just a crazy game, but
yes.
Your thoughts on all that?
Absolutely. So I totally agree with you. Like, look, in the moment I was hot, obviously. In the middle of the game, I was furious. I still think that Wemby may have, what's the word? He may have conveniently placed his hand in a spot to make it look like whether he did that knowingly or whether he was just trying to play defense and that's the way it worked. I don't think Cat hooked him at all. Personally, I don't agree with that call whatsoever. But you need to sit Karl Anthony Towns, especially the way Mitch has played this series, which we can get into the Mitch of it all. It's a really tough series for him. Obviously, he has a broken hand, so that's to start with.
Yeah.
But B, obviously, the matchup, you need to pull Wemby away from the basket. Cat's the only one who can do that. Mitchell can't, and simply put, he's been rough this series. So you need Cat on the floor. You have to sit him down, and you just have to say, Cat, whether or not that was a good call, I don't think it was. We need you on the floor. We cannot win this championship without you on the floor. Please, God, stay out of foul trouble. Even if I know you're trying to play hard, and part of the Knicks, the way they're playing Wemby is to constantly lean on him, constantly be physical. If it's the difference between Cat not being on the floor because he picked up an extra foul or two, and continuing that physicality of leaning on. Let him go, man. We need you on the floor. There is no world in which the Knicks win this series without him on the floor. So you just have to be smart. I understand. I don't think it was a good call. You can't put yourself in any position, especially when you picked up an early first quarter foul. Because that was his second, not his first. So that's the one where it's like, dude, you just have to be smarter.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is where I'm on the Cat thing. It also, like you said, had a tangible effect on the first half. So there are a bunch of people who cite the free throw disparity in Game 4 and free throw disparity in that second half, and say, see, the refs weren't against the Knicks, which in the second half it evened out a lot more, which is great. No coincidence the Knicks won that quarter by what, they were down 27, so they won the quarter by 28
and a half,
yeah, so they won the quarter by 20, or not 28, 28. So, or no, 29, because they were down 27. No, I'm dumb, dude. I'm thinking about this game, and it just completely has my mind in what they won the second half by 28, and I thought the refereeing was much more even. But it had a tangible effect on that quarter, and it was a call I disagree. Regarding the comeback, you absolutely nailed it. There's no spark. It was literally just a gradual. It was 29. Now it's 25. Now it's 25. Now it's 22. Now it's 22. Now it's 18. Now it's 18. Now it's 15. Now it's got it back up to 20. Well, no, we chip back. Now it's back down to 15. And now it's 12. Now it's single digits. And then all of that. So that was like the I guess the trend of it all. I want to give a huge shout out to Madison Square Garden, because look, obviously the players deserve a ton of credit. We'll get into specific players shortly, I assume, but there is no other building where this was possible, because the Knicks hit a three I believe to cut it to 22. And the Garden was absolutely rocking. And I think Mitch Johnson called a timeout, and the Garden was rocking. And I remember having the thought of being like, because the way the crowd was in it, the Spurs timeout, it really felt like there was something there. And then I just felt so demoralized. I'm like, oh my God, it's still 22. And that's where I think the Garden, whether or not the Mecca, the world's most famous arena, all of that nonsense, yada, yada, yada. Or not nonsense, but all of that talk. I think that this is where it really came into fruition, where it's just like, I've seen games where there's a 26-win Knicks team hitting a three to cut a 32-point lead to a 29-point lead, and the place goes bananas. It's just the building, and like that, I really think that this building willed this team to a comeback, and to that I really give a ton of props to the fans in attendance, and not the other fans doing other inexplicable stuff, which Crunch Time officially disavow that type of behavior. But the fans in the building were tremendous, and it really felt like they needed every bit.
You mentioned some of the stars of this game. One guy I think we have ridiculed so far in this series, not having his best, as Jalen Brunson. But to our credit, we always said, okay, but when is it? When is going to be the time where Jalen Brunson just takes over? And he finished with 36. This was the night. Obviously, you can dive into Jalen Brunson, but another dude, obviously, OG Anunoby, one of the guys who obviously had the game winner. No, like everyone's like OG. He has been incredible this series. One of the more underrated players of this series. I think he has 61 points in the past two games. Just absolutely incredible. Talk to me about these two guys when Cat wasn't playing his best and was kind of the front runner for MVP through the first two. OG and Jalen Brunson pick it up when he's in foul trouble. Talk to me about these two guys, man.
Yeah, that's the game, right? Those are the two. We're talking about what was the spark. If you had to, it was them two making shots. I mean, Brunson, the getting the 29 down to 22 felt like it was all Brunson. It was all Brunson. And obviously that was important. We needed every single bit of everything in order to make that comeback. OG, obviously he was the best player because it's one of the he's the player where when you get 33 out of him, you're just like, oh my gosh, we cannot lose this game.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. And to talk more about OG, talking about the 61 points, it's not only 61 points. Guess how many shots he's taken in the past 2 games in order to score 61 points?
30.
28.
Oh my God.
He's 19 for his last 28 shots. That's good for 61 points.
They bet, OG.
I cannot overstate the importance of OG Anunoby. OG Anunoby is the only reason why Game 3 the Spurs didn't win by double digits.
Yeah.
OG Anunoby was the only reason the Knicks were in that game, and OG Anunoby is obviously one of the two reasons that the Knicks won this game. It really felt like when it was at their lowest, when the team was at their lowest, Brunson was that proverbial spark that got it down into the low 20s, high teens. Then OG was the guy who said, okay, I see you, Brunson. Let me pick it up from here. And he really helped finish the job. Obviously, he had the tip and was 7 for 9 from 3 in Game 4.
Yeah, he was incredible. There's no denying that. Obviously, we got to dive into it, man. The tipping. One of the craziest game winners. Obviously, they go to Jalen Brunson, launches it from way over Wemby. I mean, that ball lands anywhere else on that rim, I think the Spurs win this game. OG and Anunoby, like everything was perfect. Talk to me about, obviously, I posted the video of you reacting to the game, but tell me what was going through your head in those moments, man.
You know, oddly enough, I feel like we've talked on the podcast a lot about settling for threes and taking bad shots for the idea of wanting to be a hero and wanting the Dame shot, right? Where there's no reason he should shoot that shot, but it's a sick clip and it went in. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I actually didn't hate this Brunson shot. He had shot it well from 3 in the fourth quarter. And the last possession, they had tried to dribble around, get something going to the rim. Wemby obviously affects the shot. Yeah. And then it completely takes away any chance at an offensive rebound because Wemby's by the basket and he's going to gobble up everything that comes off the rim. So the idea of bringing Wemby out, it was a deep shot, but it was a clean look. It's not like Wemby, you know, obviously he was contesting it, but it's not like Wemby like really got it. It was a clean look. It's a shot Brunson can make. And the key, which obviously came into fruition, is that when Wemby's 30 feet from the basket, you open the chance for the offense.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't hate the shot. Going through my mind, I mean, it was as the ball's in the air, it's just saying a prayer to every god there is that it goes in. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Roman god, everything, just that it goes in. And then when it doesn't, I didn't even really have time to process it because he's flying through the air. I don't even think he was trying to tip that in. I literally just think he was trying to get a hand on the ball, and it just everything lined up.
Like I said, everything was perfect.
Everything. And it's just like, I think it was Fox, coincidentally, who missed the box out on OG. Yeah. But like, he could have, if he took a finger, went like this, and just pressed it like a button, his shoulder, and he throws off it doesn't go in. Like it needed a perfect bounce, it needed a perfect putback, he needed perfect speed, it needed perfect height, and it needed a perfect lane, and it got all of it. And it's just one of the coolest moments. Have you seen the still picture of him jumping up over everyone?
Insane.
The hand of OG, all the quotes, the names, all of that stuff. It's a truly unbelievable moment, and they just can't. They have to finish the job because that is the moment of the finals, and I can't. You saw the clip. I was legitimately speechless. That's not a game the New York Knicks have ever won. That's a game the New York Knicks blow. Look back at Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals last year. The Indiana comeback, the ball that back iron up, backboard and in. He does the choke. Everyone, and
Yeah.
it just doesn't happen, and it did. And I can't, this team is just different, and they just need to finish the job because what a story this is.
Yeah,
What a story.
absolutely. Now, last couple questions before we wrap up this episode. We talked all about the Knicks, your reaction, how great Brunson and Anunoby was. Let's take a quick look at the other side. Victor Wembanyama 9 for 25. De'Aaron Fox 6 for 16. Stephon Castle 2 for 7. Is it Justin or Julian?
Julian
Champagny 2 for 9. It seems the bright spots were Devin Vassell and Dylan Harper, and blowing this 29-point lead, Tanner. Who is to blame? Because obviously coaching is at the forefront right now, but split it up in a pie chart for me.
Pie chart.
Who are you putting blame on?
Well, here's the thing. Anyone who played minutes deserves blame. It's just simply you can't blow a 29-point lead and not blame. My thing with the Spurs, because obviously I hate to immediately go back to the Knicks, but in the first half, I don't think defensively the Knicks did anything necessarily glaringly wrong. I think they were a little shaky offensively. But bringing it back to the Spurs, they made everything.
The Spurs were hitting every shot.
Everything.
Yeah.
It was a unbelievably transformative shooting performance in the first half, to where, newsflash, if the San Antonio Spurs shoot that way for the rest of the series, the San Antonio Spurs are going to be NBA Finals champions.
Yeah.
And they're going to win the next 10 if they shoot like that, because there's no possible way to guard all of their downhill threats. Harper, Castle, plus their 7'4" alien if they're shooting the ball the way they did. It's impossible. If they shoot that way, the Spurs will be your NBA champion. In the second half, I legitimately thought they simply stopped making, it was literally as simple as they could not make a shot. I think they got about the same quality looks. They just didn't make a shot. Where I think the blame lies is the reliance on analytics, which I respect to a degree, but it tells you we are happy with X person taking X shot. Well, if they've missed their last 5, you might want to try something different. But the analytics say, oh, but he's going to make the next one. The basketball doesn't work that way. People get hot. It's streaky. And, it's the Vassell, Harper, and Champagny shooting a combined 1 for 15 in the second half, and you keep launching those shots. You're like, well, their percentages tell me it's going to go in, and this is a shot we like. It's like, okay, but they haven't made one this half. And you're up 29. You have the ability to dribble through the shot clock. You have the ability to go and foul. Oh, and Cat had 3 fouls. Draw in it. Obviously, I've voiced my frustration with the reffing at the rim. So draw some more of those fouls.
Yeah, exactly.
And really, I mean, it's. I don't think it was a good offensive. Not just from obviously shot making because they couldn't make a shot, but just a offensive process from the Spurs. I did not think was very good, and they just kept relying on. We made them in the first half. We like this shot for this person. When in reality, you can't ignore the fact that they've missed their last 5, and they're not hitting shots right now, and you have to adapt. And I don't think they did.
Yeah, absolutely. Final question before we wrap up this emergency pod. Spurs. How do you get up from that? And on the other side, how do you avoid a hangover if you're the Knicks going into Game 5 on Saturday?
Well, I think, as has been the kind of the story throughout this finals, I think the Knicks being on the road for the next game might help. Get away from that environment. and just be you, the guys on the road. Let's play ball. I think that will help them. Now, what I don't think will help is the extra day rest. I think Wemby and the Spurs need that, and I don't think it's a coincidence. Their best basketball was after a 2-day rest, or I guess technically 3-day if you count the day of. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyway, if you are the Spurs, you just have to look in the mirror and say, we are, 30 seconds away from leading the series 3-1?
Yeah.
And obviously, as much as that hurts, maybe that can, I was going to say maybe I can inspire some confidence, but I don't think the Spurs are lacking confidence at all. I just think, you just keep have to telling yourself that, and that the process you're doing is getting you leads. Obviously, the first quarter of this finals, they're like the best team I've ever seen.
Yeah.
They're up double digits every first quarter. So you just have to keep telling yourself that we're good enough to get these leads. We're good enough to you just got to find a way to finish. And obviously it's much easier said than done. Saw a quote today from Brandon Walker. Obviously, we quote them a lot, but like, just the Knicks finish like champions right now, and the Spurs don't. And the Spurs have to find a way to do that. They don't want to come back. But at the end of the day, like, obviously, they're incredibly talented. Like I said, if they shoot the lights out of the ball, they're going to win the finals just because of their personnel is too hard to guard, specifically when they're making shots. So you can lean back, lean your hat on that. But I think you need to see improvements top to bottom. You need to see improvements down the stretch. You need to see better poise, and I think you need to see some better, just general adjustments from the coaching staff. I think the one market advantage that the Knicks have in this series is Mike Brown. Over
100%. I think guys point proven in Game 4, but. Before we wrap it up, you got any final thoughts on this incredible 29-point comeback for your New York Knicks, man?
Just truly unbelievable that you're saying it. It's the greatest comeback in finals history. I went to my phone earlier because I wanted to find some text because you had mentioned earlier what your thoughts were. And I wanted to find these texts that I sent. Basically, you know me, I get rather dramatic when my team's playing, and the voice of reason goes way out the door. And one of our buddies, whose dad happens to be a Knicks fan, he said, "My dad's already going through the grieving process. This is in the first half." And I said, "Series over, the biggest choke ever." So that's where my thoughts were.
That's how this series has been. It's been up and down. It's been super physical. It has been awesome to watch. But that's going to wrap it up for the first emergency pod, episode 220. Hope you enjoyed it. We had to talk about it because we dropped an episode today that the episode name was Spurs Bounce Back. So it's a lot of people are probably very confused. So we got to get this out ASAP. But make sure to follow the pod at crunchtime_pod, X, Instagram, TikTok. We're doing live reactions. If you haven't tuned in to Tanner's reaction, is golden. Absolutely electric series. We'll be back talking about it next week. We might do another emergency pod. We'll see. But that's going to wrap it up for episode 220. The clock has run out on this episode, but we'll see you on the next one on Crunch Time.
Oh,